Okay, so before I really get cleaning, I'm in a little bit of a bind because she wants the screens cleaned, but I can't get these screens off. So what I'm doing is just spraying it all down. It's actually helping me clean the tracks too, so that's not bad. And then I have a different washer that I'm using just for the screens today, and I'm soaping them up, and it's kind of the best option. You gotta problem solve sometimes. And that is a good segue into kind of what I'm gonna say here is like, I see everyone and I'm for it, right? Who's promoting like, hey, go out, door knock, put up door hangers, like just start getting business. I'm for that. There's also a side of like, be good at business. Be the type of person that your customer likes, that you're patient, you're kind. Like, again, I see all the sales stuff that's like, I can make the person go from cussing me out to hiring me, and I'm like, that's fine. But like, is it just to make a buck, or are you wanting to like kind of build a brand? Like, start building a little bit of a legacy. So that's kind of one thought that I have right now. We'll talk about some more once I start cleaning. Okay, so obviously I was able to get the screens off eventually, mainly because she came home and she wasn't home when I first got there. And so I was able to go inside and figure out a pretty complicated way to get the screens out, actually. But I'm using my Zero screen cleaner here, able to clean it up real nice. I do soap it up before I put it in there, but it just helps clean it up real good. All right, I'm going to change gears on you here for a second. I'm filming this and it is raining outside, so I'm not cleaning windows, and I am in the peak of Christmas light season. So that's one thing that I do for my window cleaning business is it's seasonal here in Oklahoma. And so I pivot over to Christmas lights, and I'll still sprinkle in some window cleaning jobs in between. But yeah, Christmas lights is a part of the package that we offer. And I gotta say, for me, it's a huge part of my yearly revenue. And so I started Christmas lights just by putting up lights that people already had. And so the big question I get a lot in the comments and in real life is just like, hey, how do I start getting business for this stuff? I say it in like every video, I feel like. But basically, the first year I started with Christmas lights, I made a Facebook post with my buddy, and we he was my partner, and we just said like, hey, we'll hang your Christmas lights for, I don't know, it was like $100 an hour or $50 an hour. I can't even remember, but that's how we got into it. But then a couple years into it, people were like, you should do custom. And I was like, man, it sounds kind of scary, intimidating. And then I kind of like lucked into my very first custom Christmas light job and had like all the instructions on how to do it and everything. And so just started doing custom only. And so that's what I do. I have about 40 houses that I do, and every year I try to get just a few more. I'm a single owner operator, so I really don't hire anybody. I just go out there and I get it done. But yeah, so right now I'm changing clips. These are one of our earlier jobs, and it just had really old clips on them. I'm putting better clips on them. But let me get back into talking a little bit just about running this business and what it's like to have a window cleaning business and Christmas light business. And I think for sure, home service business, if you're thinking about starting one, is the way to go. It doesn't have to be window cleaning, pressure washing, Christmas lights, but just start researching and figuring out what's out there and what you could offer as a service and start making money for. All right, so let's get into 5 things that I've learned that have helped me when it comes to
building, slowly growing my window cleaning Christmas light business, okay? Because I like to give like tangible steps of things you can do when I make these videos. And yeah, hey, it's getting cold now. I live in Oklahoma. I'm getting into my rancher style. That's what I like to do in the wintertime. And that's because I have a huge dream of having like a ranch one day. So anyway, with that said, number one, this is number one takeaway. That is, what you work works. So people will ask me, friends will ask me, hey, how's Streakers going? How's your business going? And the truth is, I always just say, hey, when I work it, it works. And that just means when I'm putting in the intentional time, intentional effort to grow my business, to get more jobs, that's exactly what happens. And if I slack and I take a couple weeks of just kind of like, going through the motions, my business doesn't grow as fast. And so part of that, it comes from this book. I want to recommend it. It's called The Richest Man in Babylon. It's written a long time ago, so it's got some old language that we wouldn't necessarily use, but the principles are really strong. And there's a line in it that has really hit me, and it says this. Towards the end of the book, it says, I like to work, and I like to do good work. For work is the best friend I've ever known. It has brought me all the good things I have had. My farm, my cows, my crops, everything. And it's just this idea of like, man, if you're gonna have to work, you might as well figure out some work to do that you can put a lot of good effort into. So if I'm gonna work, I wanna give my best. That's also connected to a book called Excellence Wins by Horst Schultz, and he was the creator of Ritz-Carlton. So he founded that and was like the lead, what do you call it? I don't know. He was just in charge of hospitality and all that. And his whole thing was like, you're ladies and gentlemen serving ladies and gentlemen. And you were designed to not just work like a chair works or like a car works by pressing the gas. You're not a machine. You're not just an object. You're a human being. So you get to create with excellence. You get to put a lot of good effort into what you're doing. And so that's kind of my first advice is what you work works. Put in the effort, be intentional, try to be the best you can be at it, and don't get in comparison games with other people, whatever. Do the best that you can do. Take some pride in your work and in your efforts. Number two, this one might kind of seem obvious, but there's a lot of fear and stress that comes with it, and that is, don't be afraid to level up. What I mean by that is every opportunity I've had to grow my business or jump up to get some new kind of equipment or go from installing other people's Christmas lights to then doing my own custom Christmas lights or getting my water-fed pole system for window cleaning. Those were all moments that were actually like really scary in the moment because it required a new skill. It required to learn things that I didn't know, and I was really nervous about it. And I just would always decide to say yes to the next thing. And what happened is that would mean that my profit would go up substantially. And so don't be afraid to level up. The pain of the challenge only makes you better. And you're gonna learn a lot of mistakes along the way. But if you have an opportunity where you've been cleaning just regular houses and now you possibly could land a huge commercial property or like a mansion that you've been like, man, I don't know if I can do this, say yes and figure it out as you go. Connecting that to number one, which is, and I'm going to do it with excellence. So I'm going to run the play. I might run it hard for a second. I might run it wrong, but I'm going to keep moving forward. And so don't be afraid to level up, even if it seems scarier. And there might be times where you choose to, there was a time where I said yes to a Christmas lighthouse that was really tall. It was like 35 feet tall in the front peak, and we had to rent a lift. And I had rented lifts before and it kind of went fine. This time it was a new build, new house. The ground was really soft. We took the lift out there. It was like sinking into the ground. It wasn't even tall enough for me to get the top peak. And it was just a huge mistake, but it taught me along the line of like, okay, when to say yes to certain jobs, when to get lifts. And I'll even add, I had to go to the door and knock and say, hey, I cannot get your job done. And they were really graceful and they were really kind. And I was like, hey, please forgive me. I bit off more than I could chew. But for the most part, I'd say 95% of the time, when I do say yes to something that seems a little scary outside my comfort zone, it ends up making me better. It ends up leading me to grow my business better. And so that is number two. Don't be afraid to level up. Number three, Had to learn this the hard way. And again, it's going to seem obvious, but commit to communicating. So your customers, they want to feel heard and they want to be informed. And so don't be afraid to send emails, to send texts, to let them know when you're going to be there, to let them know you're going to be a little bit late, like whatever it might be. Keep them updated, because then they're going to feel like, hey, you really care about your business. You want to keep me in the loop. Like, I appreciate that. I get blown up a bunch of different ways, whether it's there's someone filling out a form on my website, someone DMing me, someone sending an email, someone texting, someone calling. And it can get a little bit stressful. And I have probably missed, as I've grown my business, missed a lot of opportunities for some good jobs because I didn't get back to that person right away. What I've been trying to implement is by 4 p.m., getting to the place where I'm done with all the physical hands-on work. So that way every day I can touch base with an email or a text or a phone call I might have missed. So just communicate as well as you can, and communicate well, right? When you are talking to a customer, don't just be like, well, yeah, like I can do these windows for $6, I can do that at $10, it's gonna be $250. Like when you're presenting a quote or you're answering a question for a customer, just be like, yeah, so that window is gonna be larger. It's a $16 window for in and out. The rest of them are $12 a window. If that works for you, I'd love to be able to get out there as fast as possible, get it clean. It does work for you, awesome. Thanks so much. I'm gonna keep you posted on the time that I'm gonna be out here by the end of the day, right? Like just speak to them candidly, but also very kindly and professionally, right? So commit to communicating. Number 4, I started this in the very beginning and I'm so glad that I did. I actually get a lot of comments about this, and it is have a process for your money, okay? So when you go out there and you do start getting jobs, $100 job, $200 job, $300 job, if you're getting Christmas light jobs for $1,000, $1,500, whatever, like you need to have a process for your money, even if you're just a single owner operator, right? And so what do I mean by that? First, I want to advise you to get Profit First. This book is really good, really helpful, and basically helps you break down how to have a process for your money, right? So one of the things he helps you do is to set up your business account and then have multiple accounts. So you're gonna have an operating expense account, you're gonna have a tax savings account, a profit savings account, and then an account where you pay yourself, right? And there's a lot of different ways to do that and get into it. One of the things I advise big time is to get a CPA, get a tax professional to help you manage your money when it comes to tax season. But basically you're gonna break it down in percentages. So if you get $100 from a customer, 25% of that I'm gonna put into my tax savings account every single time. It makes it really easy because you're not balancing your books all the time. Every day I go in and I divvy up where the money goes. So 25%, so out of $100, $25 goes into my tax savings. $25 stays like in the business account. 10%, 5 to 10%, I put into like a savings account, a profit account. This is at the end of the year, I can decide whether to pay myself a little bit more or to buy some new equipment or whatever. Throughout the year, if I need something, I can do it. If I don't have enough in my operating expense, right? And then 40% I pay myself. Now, those percentages are all gonna be, they're variables. That could be different for everybody. If you have a $1 million, $2 million business, your pay to yourself is probably gonna be a lower percentage of 40%. It would be awesome if it's 40%. It's probably gonna be lower because you're probably gonna have higher costs, higher tax bracket, things like that. So listen to the book, really helpful. But for me, it's so easy to go into my bank account and I see it every day. I see where the money is and I see how it's handled. And that way, like, I'm not stressed at the end of the year. I have friends who have small businesses who aren't putting tax savings money to the side, and it kills them every year. For me, I've never gotten in tax trouble. I always have more than enough in there, and I just kind of keep it in there, the revolving door, right? And so have a process for your money. That's number 4. Lastly, number 5, enjoy the process and have some pride in your business, right? So if you have watched any of my other videos before, you know this was one that was kind of hard for me. I went from being a pastor and speaking pretty regularly in front of large crowds and really loved what I did. And so when I jumped to having a window cleaning business that was a little bit more like humbling, right? Because I'm out there, I'm cleaning, I'm getting my nails dirty. And so there was been many highs and lows in how I felt about my business. And then I had to realize, like, hey, my friends see me as a business owner, but who really cares? Because at the end of the day, I'm providing for my family and I'm providing an excellent service. And so I have really had to work hard at getting to a place where I enjoy what I'm doing. First of all, I have a lot of freedom, and so freedom comes with its own level of responsibility. So I had to learn how to navigate, still learning how to navigate my schedule, how to schedule in some lunches with friends. And since I am kind of single owner operator, I'm out there a lot alone, right? And so figuring out how to create a schedule where I'm not always alone, and connecting with friends at coffee, at lunch, or whatever, right? Going and seeing my wife because I'm done at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday, and dropping into her work to say hi, right? Like figuring out how to enjoy it and take some pride in the literal job that I'm doing, right? Knowing that I'm helping keep other people's valuables valuable. And I will say filming definitely helps, like me filming myself cleaning, like I don't know, it creates some funness to it. And so you're building a brand, you're building a legacy. That's connected to number one too, like enjoy work, like it, make it your friend. And so those are some of the really like pivotal things when it comes to kind of the intangibles and some tangibles of the 5 things that have helped me grow my business. And it's like what I said in the very beginning of this video, like people are out there just looking for a quick buck, which I get it. Like that's how I was when I started. But at the end of the day, I wanted to build something meaningful. And so if you're gonna do this, and whatever it is, maybe you wanna get into landscaping, pressure washing, window cleaning, Christmas lights, car detailing, like do a good job at it. Just have some self-respect and put in some good effort, and that is what's gonna grow your business over and over and over. So with that said, those are the top 5 things that I have learned that I think that if you kind of lean into them, it's gonna help you grow your business. So I'll wrap up this video. I hope it was helpful. I have a couple of resources that I think can help you. Number one, I have a PDF that's totally free. You can download it. I think it's 28 pages. And that is the 5 steps to starting your window cleaning business. If you want to check that out, you can. And then I also have my course, which by the way, I've discounted. I've got some people hopping on, which is really cool. But right now to the end of the year, because it's winter where I'm at, like I want to do a winter sale, help you start off the new year. So it's $75 right now for my course. I go through, I think it's almost 30 videos, just touching base on a lot of different things, how to clean, how to set up your business, how to do some easy, warm marketing, how to actually know what equipment to get and how to actually clean. So if you want to check that out, you can. It's in the description. But if you were encouraged by this video, like it, subscribe, hit me with the comments. I absolutely love when you guys hit me with the comments. And I'm almost to 1,000 subs. So that's really fun. So let's keep that going. And I'm trying to figure out maybe a goal for 2025 of how many subs to get. I don't know. I just like that this is actually helpful for you guys to see some behind the scenes of me growing my business. I have some business goals for 2025, and so I'll probably make a video about that too. But with all that said, in the meantime, enjoy the here while you're trying to get there.